Hello and thank you for joining us on the midweek edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Zubakun. Today on the program, bandits abduct Emir, several commuters on Kaduna-Abuja road, kill soldier and kidnap housewife, 8 children also in Kaduna. ASUU sets for another strike over federal government's negative response to demand. And later on the show, Governor Finituri says PDP has resolved party crisis ahead of the national convention. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Mojid Jamiu. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. Kaduna State is in the eye of the storm again. The State Police Command confirmed the killing of a police personnel, abduction of the Emir of Bungudu in Zamfara State, Alhaji Hassan Ato, as well as unspecified number of people in Doche village along the Kaduna-Abuja Express Road, Jide, this notorious road. And these people, they have no respect or fear for anybody. I saw that this is a first-class traditional ruler that has been abducted, that its security aides are killed.
Yeah, you know, for some time, we didn't receive any report about major abductions on that road. Certain steps were taken, like clearing the overgrown weeds by the side of the road and creating some form of huge setback so that you can see who is coming and all that. So the military asks for that so that they can protect the people better, and that was done. They perfected it in the northeast so that the road shoulders are usually free, so they can see anybody coming from afar. But as we always say, vigilance is key. And I think a philosopher said, eternal vigilance is the price of liberty. To sustain your freedom, you still have to be vigilant. If you relax, the enemy might strike anytime. This is what we have seen, that it is possible for these guys to stay away from an area for some time. When they see that we have relaxed, the security is quite relaxed, they will then strike in that area. That looks like what has happened now. Although they've been attacking emirs, they've been attacking convoys of emirs. Remember that of Potiskum, they killed many people where they wanted to abduct the emir of Potiskum on his way from Zaria at night. They didn't succeed. They tried to also abduct the emir of Birnin-Gwari. They didn't succeed. So as we can see now, this time around, they have succeeded. And it won't be because there was no security personnel guiding the emir. They too always come prepared. Even in killing the, I think, emir, in the attack on the emir of Yauri, back then, they killed about 7 policemen.
And if you have 7 policemen in your convoy,
you want to feel that you are comfortable. I always say that, look, it depends on how strong those attacking you and the weapons they are carrying. Because we've seen them attack army convoys. We've seen them kill Air Force personnel in the Birnin-Gwari area. They killed about 8 Air Force officers. So for you to kill them, it means that you had sufficient weaponry, or maybe they fired an RPG at them, which will kill many people when you use the RPG, because it's designed to destroy armor tanks. So this is what we are facing now. These guys, as we are attacking them, they are also not relaxing. They are running away from the war zone and moving into other areas to continue to kidnap people. See what is happening in Kaduna. So you see clearly that they are not relenting, and we too should never relent.
Should be a sustained war.
Yes, that's what Yoruba say. Oh no, now. The child who says, my mother, I'm going to deny you sleep. You too, you will not experience sleep. That's the attitude that we should have. And as I said yesterday, setbacks will come. There's no way we can avoid it. And even when the setbacks happen, we will talk about it. But we encourage our troops to continue to give their best. It is not hatred. To think that when you talk about setbacks, you hate the army is just downright foolishness. It's not hatred. What we need to continue to encourage them, provide the things that they need, and help them to secure us better.
Mujid, it's something that is even a big problem now, even down south. I've received situation reports from Ondo State Amotekun, Ekiti State Amotekun, their boundary areas. People are saying that, look, these people fleeing, the hot spot in the north, that there's a tendency that they want to fix this place, so the Amotekun guys are trying to secure the boundaries.
It's increasingly becoming worrisome. This is following on the heels of what happened at the NDA. Kaduna is especially becoming, Kaduna is, the situation in Kaduna is becoming scary, about how many weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago, we had the NDA incident where they broke into the barracks. Now, Kaduna-Abuja highway, which has been notorious, and like they said, this has gone down for some time. But these bandits, the moment you keep paying them ransom, they go and enjoy their loot. The moment they see that their money is going down, they come back again. They are tired of rustling cattle or rearing cattle.
They might not be able to go back to that life.
They have seen that it is easier and more lucrative to kidnap and get huge chunks of money. Yeah, than how
much are you going to sell?
The biggest
10 heads of cattle.
10 heads of cattle. So they have seen now that they are not getting caught. So they are getting away with the heinous crimes.
Yes.
They are kidnapping. So banditry has become something that is, it's like we have no capacity. We have no capacity to deal with it. So I commend the efforts of our military, but when things like this happen, it demoralizes them too, because and when we also see a situation where we don't have enough manpower to deal with the situation. Like they were saying yesterday, a local government in one of those states is bigger than
Zamfara.
In Zamfara, it's bigger than the whole of Ekiti or Enugu states. So or Lagos, and the size of Sambisa forest alone is so massive. So these guys, they know the terrain, and they use it at a training ground. That's why we have a very difficult terrain. The same way the U.S. failed to win a war in Afghanistan. It's difficult to defeat the bandits, but we can reduce the limits of their activities. By coordinated security, logistics, and strategy. That's the only way we can do it. I will continue to plead with our security men to continue to do their job and of securing lives and property, but it's really becoming worrisome in what is happening, especially in Kaduna, especially with the kidnap of a first-class Emir.
Yes, sometimes I marvel at the level of sanity of these people. They don't have no-go area. They don't have things that, look, this is rules of engagement. They just do anything. Kidnap the young, kidnap the middle age. Now a first-class traditional ruler. So, and nothing like tradition to them, nothing like religion to them. They're just a bunch of, people that they derive pleasure in taking all sort of, ingesting all sort of things.
Yeah. They went to a leprosarium the other day, where they are treating people who have leprosy. They went to attack the place.
They're not normal.
You can't see such people and say that they are human beings anymore. Somebody said that they are retired headsmen. So the guy said there is just a little difference between them and the animals that they are. You know?
Because they speak the language of the animals.
That the only difference is that the cattle cannot talk. The cattle can hear you. The cattle hears your language. Yes. When you call a herdsman, for example, can control about 1,000 cows by just one statement.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
And they will respond.
They will respond. You know? So, but the cattle will not talk back. That's the difference between man and animal. Now, these guys, the extent to which they are going. If you are going, they've been attacking hospitals in Zaria. Hospitals. Now, yes, the medical directors, the patients, going to, so the medical directors say people are even afraid now to take their sick to the hospital because they could come. They are not just attacking even the residential area of hospitals, the staff quarters. They are going to pick people inside hospitals. Mad people we are dealing with. Mad, completely maladjusted people. Those are people that we are dealing with.
Under the heavy influence of drugs.
Drugs, everything.
Yeah.
They made up their mind. I told you how our friend said that one bandit in Katsina said it is only cowards who want to go to heaven. You see, his own interpretation of cowardness is for you not to
do the right thing,
to be frontal at attacking people or killing people. You want to be gentlemanly, so you are a coward. That's how he sees it, and he says it's because you want to go to heaven. So he's saying that it is only cowards who want to go to heaven. I've said repeatedly, there's a video that a friend sent to me, said, Jide, you said it repeatedly that these guys, these headsmen, especially those of them running riot in northern Nigeria, they are not Muslims. They are largely animists. So to see a man because he answers a Muslim name and imagine that he's a Muslim is a waste of time. Don't brand him a Muslim. No, he's not a Muslim. So he sent me a video. He said, Jide, you'll be saying this thing that these guys are not Muslims. As you can see, this guy is not a Muslim. If you tell him, you said you are a Muslim too, Karantamana and Fatiamana, he will not be able to read it. He won't be able to recite it.
And no Muslim will go and kidnap an Emir.
I mean, if you now say that you say you are a Muslim and you cannot recite the...
But they have been bombing mosques. They have been attacking mosques.
No, they are not Muslim.
They are all the same.
You know, if you cannot recite the Fatiha, how can you lay claim to being a Muslim? Recite it even halfway, maybe I will give you 40 marks. But you can't recite at all. You are an animist. You are an idol worshipper.
And that's what you start your day with. I mean, you must be able to recite Fatiha through at least say your 5 daily prayers. It is a must. That's the first thing you
so say. Those who
so if you don't know how to recite Fatiha, then it means you are not a Muslim.
Okay, I have Paul from Cross River State. Yes, thank you for joining us, Paul.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, gentlemen in the studio. I want to make a comment regarding the insecurity in our nation, Nigeria. It has become a very pitiable state that we are on daily basis discussing the issue of insecurity in Nigeria. I want to inform us, for those who care to listen, that our foot soldiers, those on the field, are retiring on daily basis. Of recent, about 400 have tendered their resignation from the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Navy, and so on. This is to show you that even those on ground have lost faith in our nation because our leaders have failed. They have failed to show that leadership. It is a pity. It is high time the president and other well-meaning Nigerians stood up for the right thing. Let us call a spade a spade. Let us call a spade a spade. Nigeria cannot continue in this situation. We know the solutions to our problem. Let us come out plain and solve our problems.
Okay.
Thank you, Kemere.
I appreciate your comments.
For your contribution. So,
Ayo, you know the most scary thing that's going on is the fact that these bandits, especially in Kaduna State, I've been saying it for some time, but it's getting worse. They now move into people's homes to pick people. In the Chikun local government area of Kaduna, for example, they could raid the street. They'll be picking people from their homes. Even in Abuja, this Tungamaje area, they go into people's homes to pick them. Now, this story is saying that a lecturer, Ahmed Buba, in Zaria, they went to his house to seize his children. And also, they shot a soldier. The soldier is dead now. They now went to his neighbor's house, picked his wife, and 2 of his children. I mean, how terrible can people be? If you go, you can imagine a man went to look for how to make money for the family, to put food on their table, and you before you get back home, you hear that they've taken your wife and your kids away. The speaker of Zamfara State, that they set ablaze his house and other houses, his father and stepmother are still with them as we speak. I mean, these are not human beings. Because there is a level of empathy that a normal human being should have. They've completely lost empathy for fellow man. And that's why.
Beyond that, like I said earlier, because we've not been really hard on the bandits, when we see some of our elders saying that we should continue to negotiate with them and pay them ransom, and it's because they are angry, that's why they are behaving that way. They will always, I mean, that will give them the
sense of entitlement
to continue, and that's why they are going now into the towns. I don't see anywhere in the world where we should be giving bandits that kind of a freedom. I mean, I will be negotiating with them. So, but in a situation where we don't have enough manpower and enough technology to face these guys, then it's like we are helpless. It is really, really scary.
I have Abubakar from Kaduna State. Thank you for joining us, Abu.
Abu, yeah.
Yeah. Good evening, Baba Jide.
Yeah, Keke Abu.
And the other colleague is there. Yeah, thank you. That's the other Baba Jide.
You are listening to your monitor, Abu. I'm going to cut you off. Or just reduce the volume of that monitor. Step away.
Kaduna State, we are under siege. We are under siege.
Yes. Just keep talking. Don't listen to yourself. Just keep talking.
Okay. Honestly, we, the people of Kaduna, we are under siege. We have 23 local governments in Kaduna, and only 2 local governments are safe. That's Kaduna North and Kaduna South. But the rest 21 local government, they are highly unsecure due to the insecurity level that you cannot go out or come in from Kaduna. So honestly, this high level of insecurity is bothering us, but we don't know. But nevertheless, our government is trying its best, but we need federal government intervention. Thank you.
Yes. Made a valid point.
That's somebody calling from Kaduna. So if we say it here, they will say we don't like some people, or maybe we are exaggerating. But that person lives in Kaduna is telling us that out of 23 local governments in Kaduna, only 2, Kaduna North and South.
I think
that's the
city center.
That's the city center.
The Kaduna South is on the outskirts of Kaduna town, but all of those places too, like Makera, Kakuri, those places are safe. That's the point that he's making, because those areas, Kakuri, they are in Kaduna South, you know. So there is a need to secure that state. Kaduna, a city where everybody used to feel like living in. You can see they went into Senator Ibn Allah's son's house to kill him.
That's the height.
Yes, they went, they scaled the wall, entered the roof, and then came down and tied him like a goat. Left him like that until he bled to death.
Hopefully, with the military, with the sustained military campaign, hopefully, we might, as Jesus said earlier, we might not get immediate results, but ultimately we get results. Before, they were just having a kind of free reign, but right now, they know that, look, they can't afford to be in the same place. They're on the run. And I feel that the military attack will be sustained.
We need to increase our intake, our recruitment into the military. We need to do that. It's going to cost us money, then it is something we must do. Because the moment we give these bandits the feeling that they can run a free reign, then, I mean, there's a problem. I mean, it doesn't come cheap to train military men and other security agencies. But I know they have been collaborating with the DSS, NIA, and the police, but we need to increase our security manpower to be able to face these guys. I mean, the other day, I mean, they move in droves to overrun military bases. And I mean, when they are going to attack, I mean, you can see the coordinated attack on the NDA. I keep repeating it.
A friend just told me that Emir of Kaduna-Abuja was the one who was attacked and 7 people were killed, not Emir of Yauri. No, the same state, what?
Yeah.
Not Yauri, Kaduna-Abuja.
Okay.
So it's really I mean, it's something that we have to develop a long-term plan. I mean, by increasing our military personnel, it costs money, but it's something we have to do.
We hope that before the end of this year, all our Tucanos will be in, and we are going to have, because the advantage we have right now is that air power. Because when I'm looking at these guys on the ground, it's going to be difficult to match these guys or to route them from wherever they are hiding.
We don't even want the personnel to deploy everywhere.
That's the point I'm making. We don't have that personnel.
All right, we'll take this break. We'll be right back after this time out. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. This is Journalist Hangout. We're reaching you live from TVC here in Lagos, and I have Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Mojid Jamiu in the house, away from insecurity down, and we'll go to the ASUU strike. Now, the last has not been heard about the conflict between the Academic Staff Union of University, ASUU, and the federal government. The zonal coordinator of Benin Zone of ASUU, Professor Fred Osume, said the union might be compelled to embark on another strike if the federal government failed to implement the December 2020 memorandum of action signed with it before the suspension of the last strike. Although Professor Osume did not disclose when the strike would commence, he said ASUU members await decision of the national body to give the directive. Jide, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. In the last 2-3 weeks, I've been reading about this impending ASUU strike, and they are sending the signal, they're telling the world that, look, out of the agreement we signed with the federal government in 2020, the federal government, they've not implemented this agreement, and they're calling Nigerians on another strike now. Now, this is September 15. And this one is announcing an impending strike ahead of December. That means the federal government can actually avert and avoid another situation like this.
You know, they've been talking about this and they've been quite patient. Let's tell ourselves the truth.
That's what I'm
They've been saying that, look, you signed a memorandum of action since December. That was the basis upon which the strike then was suspended. The strike was suspended, not called off. There's a difference between calling off a strike and suspending it. If you call off a strike, you then need to give sufficient notice before you can back on another strike. If you suspend the strike, it means that you do not need to give your employer any notice. You can resume the strike at any time you deem fit. In this case, you signed a memorandum of action with these guys. Out of the 8 items or so,
9.
they've been able to, they've implemented one and implemented another one partially. The issue of visitation panels, federal government has implemented that the government set up visitation panels to the federal universities. The issue of salary arrears, we've also addressed that to an extent. Now, one of the main issues for which ASUU feels that there ought to be, that the government must listen to them, is the issue of IPPIS. ASUU was asked to come up with an alternative to that payment platform, IPPIS, and they came up with UTAS. They demonstrated the UTAS to the minister and his people. But government still insists that it must be IPPIS. And there's the IPPIS
will not be flexible.
It's not flexible at all. It cannot work within the university setup. Universities thrive on sabbatical, visiting lecturers and all that. Yeah. Even during our time, we had lecturers, some of them from Ibadan.
Yeah.
Some of our own, what do you call them? Graduate lecturers, those students that excel, that they gave graduate assistants, is those lecturers from UI and other people who come and mark their stuff, who train them in the real sense of the word. So they come, they train them, they look at even sometimes our own script to see how well their students have done, performed, so that they can then know the value of that lecturer. So, and there were some lecturers too who came from the US to come and work in our school.
Exchange
yes, if you have the IPPIS, how do you pay them? The IPPIS ensures that you can only draw salary from one point. So this idea of going to maybe a university in Benin to be a visiting lecturer
or an external examiner.
External examiner, it cannot work. And they've told you, but we just do not want to listen.
During your sabbatical, you want to go and take up.
We agreed that, look, that infrastructure is a big problem in universities. Let's have a fund. Let's set aside money to try to freshen up infrastructure in universities. They agreed, but they are refusing to release any money for that. You need to see some schools, students in lecture theaters, they sit on the ground. This is a university, for example, a state university.
How can?
ASUU has demanded that they should do something about state universities. They can't fund these state universities, but they continue to churn out state universities.
All the states, they want to have their university.
Look at we are talking about
glorified secondary school.
Yes, we are talking about some.
How are you going to write?
How
do you
receiving
write
instruction in this cumbersome manner? How can you produce solid students? Now, some of the lecturers. I mean, we are talking about some states not paying doctors. Those doctors not paid are products of the state university, the teaching hospital of some state universities. This is the situation. The funding is not enough. If we leave the government to control to do what it is doing, the public university system will totally decay, and everyone will now resort to private universities, because it's getting to that point.
You need to see a video trending last 2 weeks. A woman that went to her daughter's hostel in University of Nigeria. If she was showing that hostel, it looks like a prison yard. If you see how dilapidated and dirty the hostels.
That's why they asked for that infrastructure fund. It's part of the agreement. You signed, but you will not release money.
You can't believe that is University of Nigeria.
Some of the issues raised in they deliberately coined it memorandum of action and not memorandum of understanding, because they said they have been signing a memorandum of understanding. But it's like the federal government is not understanding the situation.
This is not for your understanding now.
Now they're not changing to a memorandum of action. Now some of
that is because it is different from a memorandum of understanding.
I understand.
They want them to take action
on
those
items.
And some of, it's not a matter of that they don't understand. Take action.
But they have been on this matter for God knows when. That's why they want action.
They started in 2009 or so.
Yeah, some of the items, like Judy has mentioned some of them, visitation panel. They said even they have to beg the government, bring these visitors to come and look at these schools. Look at the state of the state we are in these schools.
Facilities.
Now they have done that partially. Then pay our promotion areas. Then the revitalization fund, which they agreed. Well, they paid 40 billion to the central bank, but then the money has been at the CBN vault since January. I mean,
to access
they have not accessed a dime. Maybe it's accruing interest there. They will tell us how much that one has grown to be. Then they want a renegotiation of the 2009 agreement. They have not started that.
No, they've renegotiated. Then that's the panel headed by Musalin Jibrin. Okay. What they have refused to do is to look at the report and then take action on the report.
The Jibrin's report.
Yes, because you see, after 2009, that agreement was signed. The agreement was that you will constantly
review after 5 years.
So that Musalin Jibrin was headed that panel, the former NUC executive secretary. But they have refused to look at the findings of
the report.
And if they don't do anything about the panel, that means it's back to square one.
The agreement.
Then they are saying that the integrated personnel payroll system, payroll information system, cannot take care of their end academic allowances. I mean, that it only takes care of their monthly salary. I mean, this end academic allowances include those exchange programs, the role as external examiners, and research and stuff like that. Yeah, that I expect that.
Even when they agree to that one, you know, they said they should go and share it. They should go and share the money with NASU, non-academic staff. And they now say, ASUU now say, but it was ASUU that went on strike. Why are you saying we should share the money with NASU?
Yeah, they also said there should be a perimeter fence because of this increased cases of banditry and stuff like that.
Let me take this caller. Ita is calling us from Ife, that's in Nashu State.
Hello?
Thank you for staying with us.
Hello?
Yes,
hello.
Ita, go ahead.
Yes? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just keep talking.
He's listening to himself.
Ita, you're on live. Okay, you're talking about perimeter fencing.
Yeah, perimeter fencing for the campuses of those universities. It will cost a lot of money, but I mean, it's something.
Right now.
When Boko Haram struck inside my unit, it then occurred to us that we should do it.
We should do it. So, I mean,
there was no wall.
Even if you can't do it at once, but start, and I mean, eventually you will get there. So,
the federal institutions.
Another key issue is the fact that the amount that is being charged for tuition and accommodation in most public schools are no longer
ridiculous.
Are no longer
for 2021.
Yes,
yesterday I was told that because University of Benin
is not asking them to.
No, they are not asking, but we are saying that as part of the solution.
When Nigeria was 40 million people, when we had 40 million students, different from when we were 200 million now.
AY, in one of the private universities in the southwest, if your child is studying medicine, it is 12 million naira.
Very expensive.
I know the truth.
It is, but
it's not far away from your
and now it is 12 million naira.
12 million naira.
Yes,
wow.
But How much is it to study medicine, the highest in any federal university in Nigeria? We won't pay up to 500,000.
Well,
Is this sustainable?
Federal university will ask you to pay tuition fee of 500,000
bed
naira.
space is 45,000 naira.
That should be the highest.
Now,
I'm telling you.
bed space
During our time, it was 90
universities-
naira.
Yes.
90 naira.
So it is
Okay, I
not
have
sustainable.
Mohammed from Amsterdam. Mohammed.
Good evening.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Mohammed. I'm calling from Amsterdam.
All right,
About
go ahead,
the
please.
University issue. It is unfortunate about what is happening in our country pertaining the university students. I am a university student before I live in Nigeria, and I live halfway of my study because of how the teaching facility and how they treat lecturers and how things are going extremely bad. And fortunately for me, when I got scholarship over here, I have to tax myself. I'm in a final year in Nigerian university, and I'm coming over here to start afresh. Which one will I choose for myself? Definitely I choose here because it has basic infrastructure for me to learn. They treat their lecturers very well. They have facilities. We all know how abroad schools are. Now, coming back to the universities, if our government cannot invest in education, what do they want to invest in? The only thing the youth of that country is asking is give us good education, give us good health. These two basic sectors are currently on strike. One is on strike. Education is about to go on strike again.
Yes.
And tomorrow we complain that the youth are going into Yahoo. Though it's not like how will I say it? It's not like an opportunity, or it's not like a privilege for the youth to take up Yahoo or other means to live. But these are the frustration that venture them to go into all other things, because the education that should keep them living in school is on strike. And we are talking about producing youth leaders of tomorrow. Then how do we gonna have good leaders tomorrow?
Thank you for your contribution, Mohammed. Thank you, Mohammed, all the way from Amsterdam.
He said he has to leave as a final year student to go and start 100 level.
Yes, you see, public universities are being destroyed in our country. With strikes and the rest of them.
And they have the best.
Look at the
best of lecturers, best of everything.
All these private universities
doctors
continue to use their staff.
Yes.
They use their staff. In fact, I don't see how they can succeed if they don't their staff don't go to help
I told
out.
somebody from a private university that you cannot be an head of department, in any department,
federal university.
If you are just a PhD holder or MSc holder, in a place like University of Lagos.
You are going too far. Look at the results from law school every year. Public universities still produce the best. When you have distinctions and a second class, I mean, in law school, you will see schools like UI, Ife, Ahmadu Bello producing like 10, 15 before you see any of these private universities coming up with one. Maybe like number 10 or 11. The records are there to show
Quality of
that
training.
the equipment and everything that they used to train them, we still have the best.
Despite the fact that they are
doctors.
So I think
good lecturers are still there.
Yeah, I think
despite the frustration
ASUU and
giving their best.
ASUU and the federal
I just
government
hope
look
that
at
this one, let them implement the Musali Jibrin report, because you set up the panel by yourself. They didn't force you. Just as the Senate president said, he said, agree to pay only what you can pay. Don't go into agreements that you can't implement. You sign agreement, at the end of the day you don't want to implement.
All
it's
right.
wrong.
Moving on, and finally, there may be some good news coming from the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The Adamawa State Governor, Ahmadu Finitri, said the PDP National Convention Committee he headed has resolved the party crisis within 2 days in office. Governor Finitri promised that his committee will conduct credible convention that will be accepted by party faithful. Let's share the story with you.
Governor Ahmadu Fintiri of Adamawa State says the National Convention Committee of the People's Democratic Party he headed has amicably resolved most crises and met on the ground. Has amicably resolved. disclosed these to journalists at the Yola International Airport shortly after returning from Abuja. Governor Fintiri said that Nigerians are expecting much from the PDP to rescue them from the woods. The governor promised that his committee will conduct credible convention that will be accepted by the party faithful. Meanwhile, a chieftain of the PDP, Fintiri's credibility to reconcile all aggrieved members across the country before the convention.
Nigeria, PDP in all the states are smooth. Yes, one or two issues can arise, but I must confess to you that from day before yesterday that I was inaugurated, I've commenced my work, I've started getting the buy-in, I've started reconciling some issues in some states, and we're succeeding. I think I will still crave the indulgence of the support of all of them for us to come together, put our hands on the deck and to ensure that we deliver a credible National Working Committee for the party, which Nigerians least expect from us. Because, like I said, Nigerians out there are yearning for PDP, and we must make it a platform that everybody should trust to come in so that we can win and deliver to Nigerians what they want.
Yes, as far as we're concerned, I didn't regard the appointment of Governor Ahmadu Fintiri as the chairman, Convention and Planning Commission as personal to him. Rather, I consider it an achievement or a welcome development to the entire people of Adamawa State, because looking at him as an individual is because of his integrity and his hard working, and looking at what he's done in Adamawa State, which makes the entire structure or the entire people of PDP to look at him and give him a worthy, to recognize him and understand that he's worthy of that position. So I believe it's not only a welcome development to Fintiri as a person, but rather to the entire people of Adamawa State. We say thank you, and we believe that Governor Ahmadu Fintiri is going to deliver.
Oh, Governor Fintiri. Yeah, and there's this light at the end of the tunnel for the People's Democratic Party, and looking good for now. And we've gone past the stage of interlocutory injunctions, stopping, and the chairman.
In fact, Lagos Federal High Court refused to entertain a suit filed by some of Secondus's friends seeking to restrain the PDP and members of the party from calling, summoning, or presiding over any meeting of the party, including the convention of the party, Congress, National Working Committee meeting, National Executive Council meeting, except it is the meeting is called by Secondus. So Justice Tijani said, no, I can't entertain this. Something is wrong with our people. At the time when the CJN is going round, summoning chief judges over the issue of ridiculous interlocutory injunctions. Some people are still looking for a way to stop the convention of the PDP. Why won't you let the convention hold? You see, people must learn to lose in battle. You lose and then you win another time. But there are some Nigerians who do not want to lose any battle. When they lose, they would rather let the whole house fall.
This is September. That convention is slated for October.
Yes. So they decided on their own. Now you want to, and before pending the determination of the substantive suit. The substantive suit can be determined 10 years from now.
After the 2023 election.
Yes. So what is the meaning of that? Let the convention hold. A good thing now, all the governors are now involved. It is governors who can talk to one another. If a Wike, for example, is behaving like the bull in the China shop, there is a governor like him, Tambua, who can say, Wike, I'm your chairman. Because the chairman of the PDP,
Governors
Wike, relax, I'm your chairman, sit down. Don't talk now. Then he will point at someone else to talk. The point I'm making is that they can at least talk to one another. And they found some people amongst the governors who can really, who have the capacity to talk to other people. They are not people that you say are very political. Fintiri, for example, is not controversial, especially when it comes to matters like this. So he is qualified for the kind of job they've given him. And then, even in Enugu, the governor of Enugu,
respected. He hardly talks. Respected.
If you put water, water in
and it's not controversial. He has been there for many years.
Water in Ogwanye's mouth.
No, Ogwanye has been there for many years.
Very civil.
No scandal.
Yes,
just
you know, you put water in his mouth. You come back in an hour's time, you still find that water where you put it.
I don't know how it does it. Except it turns to saliva.
Even to say this is what I've done in my state, he's reluctant to do it.
I'm telling you,
he's just a quiet person.
Very.
Yes, so they've made him now. They've also given him a role. To ensure that zoning in the party, that they resolve issues of zoning. Zoning is critical to winning elections. Because it allows you to get everybody involved. Everybody will feel that they belong.
The party.
Yes. For example, now in Kebbi State, look at what is happening. The current governor and the Attorney General of the Federation, they are from the same ward.
Ward?
Yes.
Not even senatorial.
Yes, so they are from the same ward. You can imagine. Now, if the Attorney General wants to contest, some people will say no now. Shebi, your brother from the same ward just finished 8 years. So zoning is critical in political parties.
Very key. To give a fair
a feeling of fairness, and people will feel that they belong.
But a lot of people, MJ, a lot of people will tell you that when you look at the build-up to 2015 election, the kind of opposition that APC, you know, when they were in the opposition, the kind of opposition they formed, how it was so formidable. And if you look at Lai Mohammed's press releases and everything in those days, you could feel it like 2 years to the election, a year and a half to the election, that look, something is coming, something is about to happen, that we're not feeling that, getting that vibe from the People's Democratic Party.
Well, I think that with the emergence of Fintiri as the chairman of the convention now, and with their convention slated for just about a month away, I think we should start seeing a semblance of opposition. That's if they are able to sustain this new momentum. I hope some other people, especially from the Southwest, will not feel left out, because with the emergence of...
they are looking for a Southwest chairman.
Yeah, I would, yeah. If they can get his chairman from the Southwest,
like Oyinlola,
yes, like the likes of Oyinlola and probably Bode George, I think is still interested. So if they come up, I mean, the name of Fauci also came up, but with the kind of love, quote unquote, between Makinde and Fauci, I don't know if I don't know how that will happen. Now
it's in government and it's in power.
Yes, and Makinde has made no, made no pretense to demonstrate to people that come, I am a sitting governor. I'm the leader of the party in the Southwest. I'm the only person. You have had your time, so that I am here. And he has been able to demonstrate that. But then...
No, he also said it when he entered the hall that day. He said Makinde is the leader of the party. Although people said it's because of the thugs that he saw outside. But at least he said it that Makinde is the leader of the party in the Southwest.
Jide, we are going to see this, playing out in the next, by January ending. Because that's when we are going to have the governorship primaries of the PDP and the APC in Ekiti. So... that is going to be because Olujimi belongs to a particular camp, while Fayose has his own people. So whoever wins the Ekiti PDP primaries, will show whether there is really this unity and the no victor, no vanquish that Fintiri is talking about, and also in Osun. Just about 3-4 months.
Yes, that would be like a that would be like a major test.
Seriously,
yes. We look the last election too. What happened in Osun and Ekiti,
But for the national convention, they're already thinking of consensus candidates.
I think that's the best option.
And the consensus thing is spreading. You know, it just takes a few leaders in the party
to just
they just say this is what we want.
To save a lot of acrimony.
They just say this is what we want, and everybody will move in that direction.
Yeah.
You saw the way Secondus emerged as party chairman. And if they get the convention right, it may signal to everyone that they are serious this time. Because a party that its best men and women are only known for defecting to the ruling party. You can't take that kind of party seriously.
Yeah.
But they have the opportunity to at least put their house in order. I think it was Elumelu was begging that, please, PDP, Nigerians want us. Nigerians want us to save them from what's going on. Why don't we just settle our differences? If they remain disunited, there's no way they can defeat the ruling party. That's a waste of time. So they have to find a way to come together.
You know, the build up to 2015, you can see governors from the ruling party defecting to the opposition APC.
Very strange.
But build up to 2023 now, we've had some governors from the opposition party defecting to the ruling party.
So that's a good sign.
And we don't.
That's why Lumelu is begging.
Yes, and some more may still go on the look of things, because we hear that some people have already signed a pre-contract agreement to join the APC. What is left is for them to
just pick up their jersey,
especially with the fact that they know that Secondus will come back. Those who are backing Secondus might be the one to exit the party.
Yes, they want to leave the party.
They will likely leave the party.
Okay, I'll thank my journalist from Igbomo Ekiti. Thank you.
Welcome back. The land of rice production.
Yes, land of local rice.
The deputy speaker has not showed up with,
yes, now.
With rice.
Right Honorable Akim Jami has not sent that Igbomo rice.
Igbomo rice that they brought late last year. By now they should expect that it will have finished. Even if as a family we were taking one cup.
Your message will be delivered. In fact, I think
you will be watching.
I think the governor will see to that.
All right, thank you. And that's our package today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program.